Hello there, fellow working adults. I am the Middle Management Gamer, and welcome to another episode of This is War. Today's working adult review is Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. That is a mouthful. Joining me today is my co-host Brownie, and she's super happy to be here today. Yes? Yes. Alright, so if you're anything like me, you grew up in a time when there were arcades at every mall. And I was a huge Street Fighter fan, especially the Alpha series. And then they started making all these versus games. It really kind of started off with X-Men Children of the Atom and then Marvel Superheroes, which were kind of just Marvel fighting games with a Street Fighter style engine. And then they started crossing over with Street Fighter and then Capcom, and awesome. So basically, you pit different sets of characters against each other fighting, and it could be Marvel characters, it could be Capcom characters, it could be any combination of the two. You could have a whole Capcom team or a whole Marvel team, whatever makes you super happy. But in the arcade, for me, it was, dropping a quarter in this game and then playing for like 20 or 30 minutes on one quarter, because I spent some time on this game. Or all of them, really. But then sometimes you'd go in and drop a quarter and, well, you'd be off pretty quickly, depending on who you were fighting. So they did a digital copy of this particular game not too long ago. And then after a couple of months, they released the actual hard copy. So I waited to get it until the hard copy came out. It came with a special comic book, not pictured here. Oh, you leaving already, Brownie? All right. So we can play offline play, we can do online play. I'm super rusty, and I am not going to jump on and do all online play right now. So we'll pick offline play. And this is what is contained therein. So it comes with a Punisher game, which is a side-scroller beat-em-up. I guess it's just kind of like a bonus, fun to play game. And then you have X-Men Children of the Atom, followed by Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superhero vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, and then Marvel vs. Capcom 2. You might be familiar with the fact that I did a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 worth collecting video several months ago with my PlayStation 2 copy. Super awesome game, totally worth collecting. Pretty sure I said that then. The other cool thing is you can set it for the Japanese version if you want. I don't know what it changes, but all sorts of different features comes with the games. Alright, so let's have a look at Children of the Atom. Look at the different characters that are available. We'll go through and look at the different characters for each games. So they do have the hidden characters. Juggernaut, Magneto, something blank. Oop. So the hidden characters are there on each game. We got Marvel Superheroes. This was probably the first one I played. I didn't play Children of the Atom so much, but good roster of characters here. Dr. Doom hidden there. Thanos. And as you play through, you can unlock different Infinity Gems to use, which is kind of cool. So, cool unlockable characters like this Anita character here. I have no idea who that is. Apparently I didn't play the game as much as I thought I did, or maybe this character wasn't in the American version. I don't know, but it's really cool. She can duck under most attacks and stuff like that. X-Men vs. Street Fighter roster. I think on some of these you have to actually like hold buttons in certain areas to get the characters. Not 100% sure. Marvel Superhero versus Street Fighter roster. There are hidden characters here. Again, I don't know how to get them. That's all right. We have the internet now. We can look it up, right? Right. I feel like there was a hidden Captain America in this game, maybe? Like U.S. Agent? And then Marvel vs. Capcom. Roster here. Pretty sizable. This is where you start seeing the Capcom characters like Cap Commando, Morrigan, Shadow Lady down here. So we have Morrigan, but then we have this other Morrigan who I guess is Lilith, War Machine, Hulk. And then this one is you get a randomized team up person to come in and attack for you, which is kind of cool. Yay, Jubilee, woohoo. And then the roster for Marvel vs. Capcom 2, so many characters to pick from. So, that's what's going on there. This is the one I'm most familiar with, the one I played the most, obviously because I owned a copy of it at home. I did not own a copy of any of the other ones for at-home release. I played them all in the arcade. So, you might not have enough time because you have a real job and you work a whole lot to get really good at this game and be able to play people online. I know that every time I go online to play, I really get stomped. Either I'm doing well and I'm playing against somebody who has super lag and it messes up the fight, or I just find somebody who just stomps me. Alright, so all sorts of things that come along, features along with the game that make it kind of cool, kind of give you that arcade experience if you're missing it. Obviously, you can change the game settings, but you have to do that before you start the game. Difficulties, etc., so forth. I'm going to assume the default difficulty is standard arcade difficulty because pretty much right out of the box when I started playing the game, I got to like the third set of characters and lost. Okay, so some of the cool things that comes, features. Again, if you're rusty, there's a move list. It lists the moves for every character, including their ultra and hyper combos and whatnot. If you're familiar with any Street Fighter game, you know how to do most of these anyway. There's the marquee card. So this right here is what would have been on just below the screen on the arcade or just above the controllers, which gives you a little bit of moves for every character. So if it's your first time in, you don't just get stumped because you don't know what you're doing. You know, back then we didn't really have the internet as easily accessible. So you would have to like get a magazine to look up all these moves and whatnot, and then either buy the magazine or run to Walden Books and try to memorize them. But you know, you can zoom in, kind of look at the different features. If you forgot how to play the game, because the controls do vary a little bit from game to game. There's a explanation of each of them here, and it tells you what you need to do to win. Other cool things, set your controller settings, because there's going to be, again, game to game, the controls change a little bit. I have noticed that it is a little bit frustrating. I wish there was a way to just kind of set the controls. But that being said, this is because the earlier games had 6-button. Basically, you had the light, medium, and heavy punch, light, medium, and heavy kick, and then you would have to press a combination of buttons to bring in your partner. On this particular game, there's only light punch and heavy punch. So it's a 4-button, and then there's combinations. But you can set the buttons to do various things if you want to change your playstyle. You can really kind of set it up for easy mode. Like L1 is set to special mood, L2 is set to hyper combo. And you can actually, I think, set what you want the special move to be. Like, so if I'm playing with Ryu, it'll be a Shoryuken, you know, etc., so forth and so on. Make the game a little bit easier for you. You can also set it to do like a partner combo. And the other cool thing is, again, you're a working adult, right? So you don't always have a lot of time to play. You might only have like an hour or so. So say you've played 4 or 5 battles and you want to stop because you're doing really well, but you want to come back to it, right? You can hit quick save. All right. Ooh, Venom just hit me. I wasn't paying attention. You're a jerk. So you have to stop and suddenly go to work or something, or you have a chore you need to do. You can hit load quick save. So it doesn't take you back to the exact same spot you left. That's all right. It takes you back to the beginning of the last match that you were playing. Boop. So, pretty cool. Way to get back into your game, not lose progress. That being said, timing-wise, there's not a whole lot to these games. There's normally like 7 or 8 matches and then a boss match. So it's not one of those things where you really have to worry about losing a lot of time. So as you can see in the upper corner, there are trophies. There's fighter awards. As you go through and play, you can unlock things like eliminate all the opponents without using your reserve character. Different things like that. There's also a museum you can look at that's got galleries from all the different games. Comes with some artwork and stuff you can look at. There's also the music from each game. Which is kind of cool. And then we have the Punisher, which this right here, like I said, it just kind of feels like a bonus game that they threw in here. I've never actually played it, but you can be the Punisher or Nick Fury. And the only thing I really kind of find interesting about this game is why the heck is the Punisher running around without a gun, just auto? I know at points in this game you get to pull the gun out and fight, but just kind of interesting, but why wouldn't he just have a gun all the time? Anyway, if you like Final Fight games or the Capcom style like fighting games, you'll probably enjoy this. So, my working adult review of Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. So, time constraint wise, great game to play. Obviously, whenever you play these fighting games, you don't feel like you've invested a whole lot into them. So, that's kind of cool. Whereas, like an RPG or something like that, when you sit down, you feel like you really have to invest some time to get something out of it. Whereas this game, I can sit down, I can spend 20 minutes fighting some people, and then put it down. I can also play people online, so I actually get the competition and the adrenaline rush of actually fighting real people instead of a computer or AI controlled character. So that's interesting. Again, if you don't have a lot of time and you're not very good at games like these, then there's definitely like an easy learning curve system setup. You can drop the difficulty down and then slowly raise it up until you feel like you're ready to play other people. And again, all the moves are listed for you. There's even a way to set up one button combos and whatnot if you're not skilled at doing half circle, quarter circle, 720 motions, some of the standards from various Capcom fighting games. If you know, you know. So my final verdict for this one, definitely a 2 thumbs up, 5 stars, 10 out of 10, however you want to rate it. I think it's a great game. You can pick it up for relatively cheap. If you pre-ordered it, then you might even be able to still get some pre-order copies online. If you look, it comes with a little comic book. It's kind of cool. It's about this big and 30 pages. Totally worth playing. Totally worth your time, especially if you're a fan of fighting games and you're a fan of Capcom games. If you have a lot of nostalgic reminiscing about playing in the arcade and getting in there like that, then you'll probably enjoy this game. Brownie gives it 2 paws up. Give it a try. Let us know what you think. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.